Hey there, my friend, welcome. My name is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi. I'm the founder here at the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project. And today we're going to talk about the 5 foundational principles of strength training over 40. And my team and I have used these principles to help over 26,000 guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s lose over 150,000 pounds of fat and build age-defying strength and muscle. Because here's the truth of the matter, is when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you need to train differently than you did when you're in your 20s and 30s. Your metabolism is different, your hormones are different, your joints are different. So in this video, what we're gonna do is cover the things that you need to know so you can actually start seeing results this week with your strength, with your muscle building, your fat loss. I know you're gonna learn a ton. So get out your pen and paper, take some notes, and let's dive on in.
FitFatherProject.com.
All right, so let's get into the principles of strength training over 40. The first thing I want to talk about is actually exercise selection. One of the most important things to do when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you want to start strength training, is to start using safe, joint-friendly exercises. And here's just the fact of the matter. There are some exercises that are easier on our joints than others. So a classic example is a barbell bench press versus a dumbbell bench press. A lot of us grew up doing barbell bench presses, but the barbell bench press is a lot harder on the shoulder joints than a dumbbell bench press, because the barbell keeps your arms in that fixed bar path, where the dumbbell you can move with a little more of a free range of motion. And this is an important distinction, not to pick on barbells per se, because there are some phenomenal barbell exercises, but when we're in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, we need to build our programs around exercise that feel good for our bodies. If you know that you have shoulder problems, you probably shouldn't be doing things that aggravate your shoulders. It sounds like rocket science, but unfortunately, a lot of people make this mistake, because what happens is if we do exercises that aggravate our joints and we get injured, when we're over 40, it takes a lot longer to recover from those injuries. So safety is first. And here's another good example, an exercise like an upright row for the shoulders. You see a lot of people doing that. It can create a lot of impingement in the front of your shoulder. So when you're over 40, I say ditch that exercise and do something that's a lot safer, like a dumbbell military press or something like that. Now, we have a full exercise list that gives you the best versus worst exercises. You can click the links below and you can download that, and these are all vetted by our team, and we actually link up all the hundreds of different video exercise tutorials we have here on our channel, so we have that resource for you. But the big picture here is, if there's an exercise that seems to cause your body problems based on your mechanics and injuries you may have had, ditch the exercise, pick stuff that's joint friendly. Typically dumbbells are a better option. Sometimes there is a good use to use certain machines for chest pressing where you may have used barbells in the past. We got to keep your joints healthy. Second principle is understanding the difference between volume and frequency. So volume is the total amount of sets and reps per body part per week. Frequency is how frequently you hit a body part. So for example, an optimal amount of volume for your legs, for example, may be around 15 to 20 sets per week. And there's a couple ways that we could potentially divide up that volume. You could do 15 to 20 sets in one leg workout, and you could be sore for 7 days, or you can split those 15 to 20 sets up on 7 sets on Monday, 7 on Wednesday, 7 on Friday. And I'm gonna make this first key point. The more optimal way, in our opinion, to train when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s is slightly higher frequency with less volume per training session. And what this means is, instead of just doing leg day on Monday and being sore for 7 days because you did 20 sets, is to maybe do leg day twice a week and do half your sets on one day, half your sets on another day. The reason this seems to be a better idea for strength training over 40 versus the full leg day approach is that there is a diminishing returns to every additional set you do per body part. Because building muscle is kind of like, it's an analogy of like pushing an elevator button. We're trying to create a signal. And once we create that signal for muscle growth with our training, we need to rest and recover. But once that elevator's coming, that signal's created, jamming on the button more times is not gonna make it come faster. It's just gonna hurt your thumb. So my point of saying this is that doing 7 sets is going to give you that stimulation. Doing the next 13 sets on top of that might give you marginal benefit with a greater inroad into your recovery. It's going to make it harder for you to recover. You won't be able to train as frequently. And we get this muscle growth, muscle protein synthesis effect after training for roughly, let's just say, 24 to 72 hours, depending on how long you've been training and your age. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to not train for half the week when you could be getting another stimulation. So I'm trying to say, stimulate with the right number of sets, sets, rest and recover, stimulate, rest and recover is a better option. So divide your volume up with slightly higher frequency. Young guys often do the full chest day, the full leg day, where I think you should spread it out. So the two best splits, practically speaking, that seem to work well for a lot of people on our programs is first, full body training. Old school training, you're doing every single body part, like 4 to 5 sets on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for example. So you're hitting everything and you're spreading that volume evenly. Great way to do it. So what a workout might look like, you'll start with legs. You might do some kind of squatting motion that feels good for your body. Then you'll do some back work. So maybe you do a barbell row. Then maybe you do some chest work, a dumbbell. Then you do an overhead pressing, and then you finish with some arms and some abs. It's a full body training, and then you'll train again 2 days later, then again 2 days later. You're getting constant stimulation, constant muscle growth without overtaxing your body and potentially leading to injury. So the full body training is the approach we use inside our old school muscle program. Amazingly effective. Guys get incredibly strong using this 3-day-a-week full body old school training, if you will. Another good option is what we do in our phase 2 of old school muscle is upper lower training. So you might do 2 upper body days per week, 2 lower body days per week. So it might look like upper body on Monday, lower body on Tuesday, rest on Wednesday. Upper body on Thursday, lower body on Friday, rest over the weekend. The specific days don't matter, the spacing does. And even more so than the spacing is the concept. Spread your volume out. Don't slam your body with 20 rep set chest days. Spread it out over a couple different training sessions. You're gonna get better results that way. Number 3, and this principle applies to strength training if you're under 40 as well, but it's that progressive resistance is key to building muscle and building strength. And that means that when you go into the gym, you need to know the right number of sets and reps that you're trying to hit. So let's say you are doing that dumbbell chest press and you are aiming to do 3 sets of 12 reps, for example, with a 50-pound dumbbell. Once you can hit that, you need to try to lift a 55-pound dumbbell the next time you get into the gym. If you're not progressively trying to lift heavier weights, you're not giving your body a stimulus to continue to grow. And this becomes even more important in our 40s when our hormone levels are declining, testosterone levels are getting lower, so we need to be more disciplined with our training. So that's why this progressive resistance principle is key, and that's why it kind of also begs the important thing that you need to have a structured training plan. If you go in the gym without knowing what you're doing, you're not going to make as much progress. You see the guys, if you've been to a commercial gym, who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, who are lifting the same 25-pound dumbbells. You've seen them there for 5 years, still lifting the same 25s. Their arms look the same. You got to be diligent. You got to try to lift heavier weights when you can hit your rep targets, and that's why it's essential to actually track your weights and actually have a structured program like our old school muscle program or something else that's safe and joint friendly. So that's progressive resistance, and this comes from the Kaizen principle. Small incremental progress stacked up over long periods of time equals big gains. Even if you throw another 2.5 pounds on the bar on doing some overhead shoulder presses, will be better for your body. It will give you the stimulation to get the results. Principle number 4, prioritize recovery. I cannot say this enough. Muscles grow outside of the gym. They don't grow when you're strength training. Your strength training is the stimulus to get your body to increase protein synthesis. It creates that micro damage that your body wants to recover and super compensate from. But the growth actually happens when you're out of the gym and you're sleeping and you're eating and you're prioritizing your recovery. And this is essential because as we get older, our ability to recover from exercise goes down. And that means our need to have proper sleep and proper nutrition goes up. You just can't get away with stuff that you might have done in your 20s where you lifted weights, then you drank a bunch of beer the next few days, didn't sleep well, and you still made progress. You can't get away with that stuff in your 40s. So what that means for you is 1, you need to make sure you're getting at least 7 hours of quality sleep. If you're not, can you still build muscle? Probably, but the gains are going to be a lot slower and a lot worse than if you're getting at least 7 hours of quality sleep. And number 2, you need to make sure you're eating the right number of calories. We have a free calorie calculator that we include with our old school muscle building program. I'm going to link it below so you can use that. It basically gives you your exact calorie targets for building muscle and also gives you some ideas on proteins, carbs, and fats targets. Essentially, you want to be eating healthy foods. You want to be eating the right number of calories, not too many, like these old school bulking programs that'll just make you fat, but not too few, because if you undereat, you're not going to make enough progress. So high protein foods. Don't be afraid of the right kinds of clean, healthy carbs and some healthy fats. We will deep dive, especially if you want to join us inside that Old School Muscle program. We have the entire nutrition plan laid out meal by meal, gram by gram. It's very simple. You just follow along. But that free calorie calculator is below in the description. You can get that and you can start figuring out at least your calorie target, and then we can teach you in future videos on how to divide that up. Recovery is key. And I also added on this list with prioritizing recovery, stretch and massage. Absolutely essential. As we get older, our cartilage in our joints is getting weaker. Some of us have arthritis, we have old injuries. So that's why it's so essential to actually get a foam roller, do some at-home foam rolling and stretching when your family's watching TV or after you're done with work. We gotta keep your muscles and tissues healthy because it recovers a little slower. But doing stuff like this is what's gonna keep you in the game for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And the progress really can be phenomenal if you can stay consistent. You can get very strong in your 40s. In fact, here's a picture of one of my favorite over 40 bodybuilders. This is Sonny Bryant. He actually started bodybuilding in his 40s. This is him in his 70s now. He obviously looks phenomenal, and he didn't start strength training until his 40s, but he uses these principles, and that's why he's so consistent and doing really well, injury-free, and very strong. The final principle I want to share with you today, at the risk of making this a super long video, is to use some smart supplementation. And I put this last for a very important reason. It's because supplements are supplemental. Unless you have safe joint-friendly exercises, the proper volume and frequency, unless you're prioritizing progressive resistance and recovery, no supplement is going to help you build muscle. But if you have these principles in place, here are 6 to 7 supplements that really do help. The first one is creatine monohydrate. This is probably the best muscle building supplement for guys over 40. Relative to like all the sports supplements, this one is very safe, very well researched. There are some side effects. We do have a full deep dive video on creatine monohydrate. We will link in the description as low. You can check that out. But point being, what creatine does, it actually gives your muscles more ATP, more energy, so you can lift heavier weights. And research also shows that it prevents muscle loss associated with aging. In fact, they give creatine monohydrate to people in their 70s and 80s who do not strength train, and they find that it helps them preserve muscle mass. This is key. And also creatine monohydrate actually directly influences muscle building in addition to making you stronger. Very good supplement. Practically speaking, I recommend around 5 grams in a post-workout shake with around 20 to 30 grams of quality whey protein is a great way to start, or you can have plant-based protein, that's fine too. Second supplement on our list is a quality protein powder. Getting the right amount of protein is essential for recovering from exercise and seeing progress. Now, protein powder itself is not necessary. You could get all the protein you need from high quality fish, eggs, certain kinds of meats, high quality tofu or tempeh, a wide variety of whole food sources, but our lives are busy and sometimes it's hard to actually get those foods in on a consistent basis. This is where protein powder comes in. It's convenient, it's quick, it's easy to digest. It can help you hit your protein targets. That's why I love a post-workout shake, right? You throw around 30 grams of protein with that 5 gram of creatine. That's helping you hit your protein targets. It's economic, it's quick, it's affordable. If you're looking for a good clean whey protein, we have our FitFather Project Super Fuel, and also linked below in the article associated with this video, we also have some other protein powders that we love and we trust that are great value and are tested and are clean of heavy metals, etc. You want to get a quality protein powder, and this can be really useful for morning shakes to get your protein target in, post-workout, meal replacements. This is your utility fuel to get more protein in your diet. Third supplement is a quality multivitamin. A lot of guys don't think of this as a muscle building supplement because it's not testosterone booster 9000, but a multi is actually more important than that stuff. The process of building muscle and exercising and recovering involves, literally millions of different enzymatic reactions that require the vitamins and minerals that are in multivitamins. And we all want to eat a good balanced diet, but let's face it, we don't always get the variety of foods we want. We're not always eating enough organic vegetables and fruits as we should. So I view multivitamins as like an insurance policy. You take a good quality multi, it covers your bases for the day, and that's really going to help your muscle building over the long run because your body's going to be healthier. It's not just about building muscle, it's about having a good, healthy body that can do this stuff for 10, 20, 30 years. I think a multi is a good insurance investment for like $1 a day or less. You can get all the nutrients you need. Really good deal. Next one is a fish oil or curcumin. And in fact, you might want to take both of these, but what these are are some of the best natural anti-inflammatories. A lot of guys who are strength training over 40 often go to taking a lot of Advil and NSAIDs because their joints hurt and they hurt after exercise. And it actually turns out that using a lot of these NSAIDs actually decreases your gains from exercise, can be very hard on your stomach and your liver, and they're good natural options. So fish oil and curcumin, great natural anti-inflammatories, and they also have benefits for brain health. They help fight cancer. They're really good for heart health. They can upregulate your fat burning. So there's so many benefits to getting a good natural anti-inflammatory that's going to help your joints feel better so you can train longer and recover faster. Absolutely essential. For fish oil and curcumin, we have brands linked in the article in the description associated with this video. Now, final two supplements is a probiotic. Enough good stuff. Let me put it this way. I can't say enough good stuff about probiotics. These are the good, healthy gut bacteria that line your entire digestive tract. They are essential for helping you digest food, having a stronger immune system, and they actually show that lean people have different probiotic diversity than people who are obese. So taking a good probiotic is essential for helping your body burn fat, and I believe there's going to be research in the future that shows that probiotics actually help with muscle building in general. But I see this as like a staple core health supplement. Probiotics keep your immune system high, which means you're not going to get sick and have to take time off training. Helps you digest your food, which obviously is going to lead to better muscle building gains. So probiotics are a staple in my opinion. I want you to eat more probiotic containing foods. So that's like sauerkraut, kimchi, some of these fermented yogurts, if you can tolerate dairy, can be good, but also taking a supplement is a good idea. That's why inside our FitFather Superfuel protein, we actually include probiotics and prebiotic fiber because we like to make this stuff really mindless so you don't have to think about it. So that's why we love our protein powder, but again, there are good products from other brands. We've linked those in the description. And the final supplement is some vitamin D3. Research shows, particularly for people over 40, the vast majority of us are deficient in vitamin D3. One, we're not getting enough sunlight. Two, when we're stressed, we burn through vitamin D3 levels. And the research shows when we actually increase our vitamin D3 levels through supplementation, our testosterone levels can actually rise. Really cool stuff. And I think this is important for all strength training over 40. In both men and women, testosterone helps. We want to naturally support healthy testosterone production. Vitamin D3 is a great solution for overall health, but certainly for testosterone and muscle building and recovery results as well. We talk about some of the dosing below in the article associated with this video. So at the risk of making this a super long video, I wanted to cover some of the foundational principles. Again, safe joint-friendly exercises, the proper amount of volume, meaning I like to pulse that volume throughout a higher frequency, either full body training or upper lower. I want to make sure you prioritize your recovery and you use progressive resistance, meaning you're tracking your weights, you're lifting slightly heavier weights every time you can hit your rep targets, and finally using smart supplements. So this can seem like a lot, and it is if you're just allowing this stuff to be general information. My team and I are here to help you dial this all into an action plan. If you're super serious about building muscle over 40, then I recommend you join our Old School Muscle program. There's links below. And at the very least, get our free exercise list. Figure out the exercises that are safer and more effective on your joints when you're strength training over 40. And that's going to help you see greater progress. And we'll follow up with you via email. We'll give you some more training on muscle building over 40. We have a lot of great stuff. We have over 100,000 guys on our email list who are using these muscle building principles over 40. We'd love to invite you to join us as well and to join us in our YouTube community. So if this is the first video you've seen of us, welcome to the channel. We literally have hundreds of videos just like this on muscle building over 40, losing fat over 40, the proper meal plans, how to get and stay motivated, all those exercise form tutorials. We are the Fit Father Project, the health experts for busy guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, help you live strong and healthy for your family. Thank you for being here. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit the like button below, and drop us a comment. I'd love for you to add some of your own feedback. Obviously, there's more stuff involved, but this is a really good starting point. And I'll see you in our future videos. I'll see you subscribe to the channel and all this free training I have for you linked below, and I'll talk to you very soon, my friend.